Photographer captures something mysterious on his picture of a lake. This beautiful, breathtaking place is called Jacob's Well. People from all over the country and the state come here to freshen up when heat strikes in the area. The well is a natural karst spring that is fed by the Trinity Aquifer, which pushes up its water through the well and spills it into nearby Cypress Creek, said the Mother Nature Network. But there was more about this place. The swimming spot is about 12 foot in diameter with 120 feet in depth. It is easy to imagine the wonders that such a deep lake would contain, wonders no one was able to find before. Hays County bought Jacob's Well Natural Area in 2010 after the approval of the voters, and the voter-approved park bonds were used to buy this land. The Parks Department had only one motive in mind: to restore and preserve the natural habitat of the area so that the public can enjoy it fully. Today, Jacob's Well has become an integral part of the Kimberly through its cultural and natural way. Other than being a beautiful spot for swimming, this place has a vast and diverse ecosystem. People from Texas and other cities are well informed about the place, but what they didn't know was that beneath the depths of this favorite spot lies something of which nobody knew about until this photographer, Carl Griffin, spotted something when he was taking the pictures of the well and its areas. Just like other days, even that day the place was filled with people. Carl could see how happy everybody was, but who could have thought that day he would make a life-changing discovery? Carl was busy taking pictures of the beautiful landscape and blue waters, and that's where he noticed something odd. The thing was that because the place is always crowded, you only get 2 hours to enjoy the place time. That is not enough for anyone to notice anything strange about the place. Carl knew that he had to rush because time was a luxury he couldn't afford. The place was so crowded, and he didn't have much time left to waste. He kept taking the shots without even looking at the ones he had already taken. He knew that later in the day he would be able to see all the pictures at ease, but little did he know, he would find something that would make him go back to that place again. You can only enjoy the place before 6 p.m., as no one is allowed there after dark. Several incidents happened before, and the authorities decided that it was best to issue a notice preventing the public from staying there after 6 p.m. This was one of the most beautiful places for adventures and exploration, even though there are several spots in the area which are off-limits, even if one tries to get there. But a camera lens has access even to restricted areas. It captures everything in its frame and provides the power to zoom in and zoom out. Carl was going through the images he took and was happy that there were few shots of the place that looked pretty awesome. However, some of them had something strange in the background. He couldn't tell what it was for sure, but deep inside he knew that it was something nobody had ever seen before. Intrigued, he wanted to know more about the dark thing he noticed in his pictures. He couldn't go back at the moment, and getting a reservation was almost impossible. Giving up was not an option though. He had to do something about it, and he had to find out what it was that his images captured. The next day, Carl decided to go back to Jacob's Well. He met the authorities and told them about the photographs he took the day before. The authorities could see the genuine concern on his face. After having a look at the photographs, the authorities were almost aware of the thing he was talking about, but they acted as if they had no idea what he was walking about. Carl's request of going inside Jacob's Well was rejected, and that was the moment he knew that something was wrong, and he was determined to find the truth no matter what. But how? He knew that now the authorities knew who he was, and it wouldn't take them long to blacklist his name from their books of reservation. So what could he do? If you are determined to get something done, you will find your way to it. Carl was determined to get to the end of things, and he was eventually able to find a way to get a reservation. He made some calls, and eventually one of his friends was able to secure him a reservation for a week after. Carl and his camera were ready to take the shot of a lifetime, which would change his life forever the day he went back to the wells. Soon, he would be able to find out that one dark secret about the place that stayed hidden from everyone. All he wanted to do was to see what it was that his camera was able to capture. Along with several other tourists, he made his way inside the Jacob's Well. Camera ready, he rushed towards the exact spot he wanted to investigate the most. The swimming pool was filled with people, but that didn't stop him from exploring the place further. Inside the swimming pool, there was a black hole which was an entrance to a hidden cave inside the pool. A cave nobody was able to detect before. There was a reason for that. As predicted, this cave was off-limits for the tourists who visit the place. Few boys were able to break in before and met a dreadful fate inside. After the cave was discovered, a team of experienced divers was called to fully examine it. Back in 2000, the project was also created with the name Jacob's Well Exploration Project, JWEP. This project's aim was to explore the cave and make a detailed map of it, and has resulted in the finding of some 6,000 feet passages. People weren't just coming to cool off during the summer, but to also dive in the black hole of death. Everybody wanted to know what lay in the deepest point of the waters. But the incidents which happened in 1964 and 1984 changed everything about the black hole. The day Carl spotted this same mysterious hole through his camera lens. So the next time he visited the place, he captured several shots of brave people diving inside the hole like it was another random pool. Everyone who dives into this hole knows how dangerous it can be, but they choose to ignore the danger for the sake of adventure. Carl, who lived in Spring Branch, Texas, told in the interview with Daily Mail, "Jacob's Well is a perpetual artesian spring that feeds Cypress Creek. When people look at the two boys making the leap, they do not see the water." He explained it with this impressive shot he took back then. "Just take a moment and look at this picture. All they see is this huge hole, an abyss, the boys appear to be jumping into," said Carl in the interview. He also said that the water is so crystal clear that in this photo, the boys are just 1 meter away from the water, who were waiting for their chance to jump inside the deadly hole. "Why, kids? Don't you have homework to finish? Scuba divers love to explore the area despite its dangers," told Carl. The bottom of this hole is very deep, which is not visible from the above. So, if you are visiting the hole for the first time, then there is no way you can even guess the depth of this hole. But there was one diver who went all the way down. And believe us, it wasn't beautiful as it looks. Diego Adam was 21 years old when he first dived into the darkness of this hole. He recalls the moment where he said, "For a split second, I thought of death and myself dying that day." During his dive, he lost one of his flippers, and then after a few minutes almost ran out of breath. So how deep is it? It is believed that this hole is 13 stories deep, which ends when a very huge cave can be seen, which is curved and is 40 meters deep. That day, Diego free dived into the hole to reach the entrance of the cave, but he had to cut short his trip when he lost one of his flippers in the middle and was struggling for oxygen. He knew that he had to move to the surface before he ran out of oxygen. Fortunately, he was able to make it to the surface. Jacob's Well has taken 8 lives in total, and Diego would have been the 9th. This place has become the world's most dangerous diving spots. Writer Louis Bond even wrote a book about this place and 2 men who lose their lives. The book is called The Fatal Allure of Jacob's Well. According to Bond, the pit has at least 4 caves. Some of the caves are so narrow that even the professional divers had to remove the oxygen tank before they could enter the caves. "You couldn't tell up from down, left from right," said Kathy Messiasek, who was a part of the special team which was given the responsibility to map the hole. She said that all of her training was the only thing that kept her alive. "We were rather relieved to get out," she added further. Jacob Wells are as lethal as they are beautiful. Nature has its way of being both the beauty and the beast at times.